Hello, everybody. Welcome to another RPG world. Sorry, we are. We're almost like a minute late. Because you and I start talking.
We got distracted.
We get distracted, and I don't even see.
Sorry, everybody.
I know we're a minute. Well, a minute early. Oh, somebody was a GM Alcove was.
He's early. Here. Hey, yeah, Alan. Hey, Fritz. I don't know what to call you, but hey, buddy.
I am the human highlight reel, Rob Orn, the owner of Rob's Tabletop World, entrepreneur, rock star. What else? Sports icon.
Oh,
and all these other things. I'm really trying to just do the introduction here. And with me is none other than the one Pip wonder, our very own Jona.
Hello, Jona, and you got it right.
Yeah.
We're rolling now. This is awesome.
All right, so here we are. We are on our normal channel, which is Rob's Tabletop World on both Twitch and YouTube. But we like to introduce a new crowd that will be coming in at some point, and they'll probably see this later on because it's kind of a last minute thing. But we are now on Board Game Geek TV. What do you think of that? Yes.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
It is awesome. And we've had, for those of you that are maybe just seeing us for the first time on Board Game Geek, this is a show that we've done. We've done a few episodes, and we really enjoyed it. And we wanted to bring it over to the Board Game Geek, and we thought it would be a lot of fun. Streaming on BGG as well. See, there you go. So we're just making it wider so everybody can see our little RPG show.
Everything we're up to.
Now, we do all kinds of different things here. We're going to do some arts and crafts. We're going to do, we talk about terrain. We talk about RPGs themselves. And, of course, one of the things I wanted to talk about today was last time we were on, we were showing off that Warlock stuff from WizKids.
Yes, that stuff was awesome.
Yeah,
with the double-sided wood and stone. Yep. You know, it was funny. We were at PAX Unplugged 2019 last year, and my husband saw that at the convention. He almost bought some.
He almost bought some.
Been awesome.
Well, it's funny you should bring that up, because I had to go get earlier this week. I was finishing painting a little project, and I needed some basing stuff. So I didn't want to go all the way into Orlando to get it. And there was no way I was going to get it in time from Miniature Market, our sponsor, by the way. But, ta-da! But I decided to stop in a local store here. And they do a lot of Dungeons and Dragons and Warhammer and that kind of stuff. Okay. So I knew that I can get the little basing stuff I wanted. So I walked in there, and I just decided to go into the room where they had all the Dungeons and Dragons stuff. And of course, I saw all the figures that we've been painting and stuff like that.
Right.
But I saw a book, and it made me think of what we were covering last show.
Okay.
Where we were talking more about, is it visual for you?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And does it have to be visual? Now, this led into seeing this book, and I'm going to take a sip of go-go juice here.
Gatorade.
My wife made burgers, but she loaded them up with like everything that you could put into a burger.
The whole spice rack.
And I'm out on the grill trying to flip these things, and they're like falling apart. It's got like 900 things in it. I ate them. They were great, but my mouth is like dry now because she put like 9,000 seasonings in there.
It sounds delicious.
It was. But anyways, getting back to the subject, I took a look at this book, and I started thinking about more the theater of the mind. And and the different editions. So I'm going to show you a picture of it.
Okay.
Okay, what this is, and let me just do that. Oh man, we got some technology working. Yeah, it's actually the original adventures were for the first edition, but they were. It's a big, thick book, and it has a couple of modules and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this particular book was converted over for the 5th edition, so you can take the old first edition stories.
Oh.
And play them in the 5th edition.
Well, that's very charming.
Here's the thing, though, and let's talk a little bit about the differences between the 5th edition and the 1st edition. And
yes.
This is where I wanted to kind of bring in the whole theme of theater of the mind. And by the way, hello to GM Alcove, of course, and E. Connolly and James Brazil.
Yes. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. And I'm sorry. Look, yeah, we're streaming on BGG, which is great. And Downriver Rick, we can't forget him. So if you guys have questions, so put them in there, and I'll put them up at once we get done talking a little bit about this. So, anyways, the 1st edition was more that you were using truly the theater of the mind.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Because the only one that really knew all the rules was the DM.
Yeah.
Because your player, we had talked about this before, and your player manual was more or less to guide you and create your character and that, but the rules weren't in there the way it is now. So now I take a look at this and I think, here's the story that tells this beautiful and just enriched story. All the old modules for me are personal because of the stories and the things and all the things that I would do and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But now where you control so many, different dice rolls and the rules going in, does it take away from the theater of the mind? Okay. Are you so worried about figuring out the statistics of things that you are not immersing yourself?
Right. In the story.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In the story. And I wonder where you have this old module that basically, the dungeon master knew everything and told this beautifully story, and you were enriched by the story.
Mm-hmm.
Do you end up sacrificing something when it gets converted over to the 5th edition, where you need to know all the roles and the things like that? And this is one of the things I wanted to ask you, because I thought of this when I saw this thing.
Yeah.
And when you're playing with your group, are you able to not calculate everything in your head? Or does it take it away from your experience? Like knowing, okay, if I do this, I know that I'm going to have to take this test and that test. Instead of going, well, this looks like a pretty deep pit. I wonder if I can jump over this. Well, I know that I'm an athletic hobbit, which I could be.
Let's see what happens. Well, I don't know. I think sometimes we do overthink the strategy a little bit. And we're like, well, we don't want to rush in because then we're going to run into this trap and then this is going to happen. Part of that has to do with us knowing our DM and kind of knowing the way he kind of works in fantastical reality, where he doesn't go too far into reality where like poof, things just, magically happen. Like there's a rhyme and a reason. He's very logical with like, if you are going to attack someone by yourself who's 10 feet taller than you are going to die because that's logical. So in that regard, like we do kind of have to be analytical about what we're going to do. I don't know if that's really getting to what you were saying. I guess you were saying more like the mystery. Like, is the mystery there if you know too much? If you know too much about the mechanics of how the game's working?
Yeah, because
Is
I
that what
wonder.
you're saying?
Yeah, because I wonder if that takes away from, if you could figure out, well, here's this guy, he's 10 foot tall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have a 70% chance of beating him on this particular die roll,
Right.
because I get this kind of bonus and that, if and taking my die. And now all of a sudden you're playing algebra instead of going, wow,
Let's
he's
see what happens.
he's 7 foot tall, but I really need to get by him. I really don't think I stand a chance,
Mm-hmm.
but I've got to try this anyway. Where does your bravery come into it? Where does the adventure and
Mm.
and problem solving things? Here's an interesting thing. If you play for optimizing a character, like solving a puzzle, maybe, but
Yeah.
maybe many of us just love building a great story, which is more or less
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say, is that you're taking these old things and bringing them into a thing where, they're built for today's type of adventures.
Hmm.
Okay.
Would you say that by and large, like the fifth edition is more strategic? Like there is less
I think
mystery as opposed to the way you used to play?
um I don't think we could have played with in the first edition. I don't think we could have played with miniatures the way the fifth edition is kind of built for miniatures in a way.
Hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Really? Yeah.
Like,
Like you don't have that agency to like, oh, I'm going to move this guy here and then this will happen.
there wasn't the thing where, well, each stride is this many.
I see. So you didn't have the speed and the
Yeah, it was
like
more
what is it when you
movement.
disengage or you run away and
It was a lot different because you had to rely on the GM. Okay,
Hmm.
okay, we're going to walk down this hallway. Okay, here's what you see as you're walking down the hallway. Not, okay, you go 6 feet, you go another 6 feet.
Yeah.
See this? You go another
I
6
hate
feet.
when that happens.
Okay.
It drags the story
Yeah.
when
Where
you're just waiting to get to the place where the story is.
exactly, and it's like, okay, well, you see, you go a little further and you see to your right a somewhat burning torch with a massive spider web, and to your right, so it was up to the GM to really build this thematic story, and you're trying to, and you're closing your eyes, and that's what you're visualizing. Each one of us, of course, in a group may see it differently, but isn't that part of the experience, is how you see it in your mind's eye?
Yeah.
So how do you take this and convert it over to the fifth edition? I was tempted to buy it. It was $50, and I was like, I should get it. And I was thinking more of getting it for the show.
Yeah, to see how it would play. Because it would be like your.
And I really think I'm going to do that, because I remember going to Gen Con and seeing a whole bunch of these things there and going, wow, this is really cool. I should pick these up. And of course, I never got back to that side of the convention. But is that the ice cream man?
It is. I'm sorry, it's so loud.
You guys got an ice cream man?
Yeah. Yeah. You don't get an ice cream man in your neighborhood?
No.
Oh.
No.
That's what you need, Rob, because the queen goes out for ice cream without you. You need the ice cream man to come to you.
Well, I either end up taking her ice cream, but I remember being up northeast. There was Mr. Softy and Mr. Goodbar.
Yeah, I think we have a Mr. Softy.
Mr. Softy was the best, because it was just a giant cone with a smile on the front of his thing.
Yep, they're pretty great. We are ice cream men people, though, sadly. My parents would never buy us ice cream from the ice cream truck because it was too expensive.
Okay. Either than my parents, the thing would go by, and it would be like the worst day ever.
All the kids would come out, and we'd sit on the porch and watch them.
Do your kids hear that bell and like lose their minds?
They don't know what it is.
See, that's the way to do it. That's the way
They
to
don't
do
know
it.
yet. And actually, we're new to the neighborhood, and this is the first time. This is the first time he's come by the whole year. So I'm sure they're curious, but
boy, we went completely off topic.
sorry.
No. But I mean, that's this show. That's this show, basically. I think the rules should help it with the immersion. I agree with that.
Okay.
We could jump right back into it very quickly. I mean,
we'll get right back to it. Yeah, I think it would be fascinating for your judgment, Rob, because you played the original with a DM, like keeping all the rules to himself, and you could kind of compare it then and be like, is it more immersive because you're making the decisions or you're aware of the outcomes of your decisions?
Well, before I get to that one, I want to read this one.
Oh, sorry.
No. Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. I thought you were done there. I didn't mean to cut you off. RPGs are becoming less choose your own adventure and more like board games. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, board games are becoming more choose your own adventure. And that's very true in a sense.
It's a mixture.
It's almost like kind of doing this flip-flop thing.
They're blending.
And that kind of leads to something that I have underneath here. And I want to continue this conversation. I've got so much stuff under here. I'm working. I've gotten this game, and it is truly.
Oh my goodness, Rob! How many boxes? They're so huge.
This game here, Dungeon Universalis.
Okay.
Is probably.
You just did a video for that, right?
Yeah, I did a couple of videos for it. Now that one right there is very. It reminds me a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. So that what they just said, where board games are becoming more like it.
Yeah.
I'm working on a lot of stuff.
You've got a lot there. A lot on your plate.
Listen.
When you're under the table.
When you're one man, it's a one-man show, and you put out 15 videos a week. You better be working on a lot of stuff.
You need an ice cream. That's what you need.
Can you stop the truck and get me an ice cream?
I'll send it to you. Yeah, I think I don't know. I feel like it depends on how your DM approaches it. Like I've never played from a what is it called? Like a published scenario or published story. Daniel's always come up with ideas that were original.
Right.
And also my cousin's DM'd for us, and he does, I guess he pulls from different books, but most of it is like kind of on like stuff that they're coming up with. Mm-hmm. And then there's a lot of impromptu changing. Like if we just aren't, receiving the messages that he's sending, like you need to go to the forest to encounter the encounters. If we're not getting it, like they'll adjust things on the fly to get us there. So we kind of have the DMs helping us and not necessarily, I don't know, it's not so scripted, I guess. That's
right.
what I'm getting at.
And Scott here comes up with a great point, and which I'm trying to get to everybody's thing here. It all comes down to player types. Those that have hundreds of spreadsheets to calculate everything. So you have those groups, or those who just want to, have a couple beers and have some fun.
Right.
So, those guys are sitting there, but when you think of your D&D group, most of the time, I think there's a balance between the two.
Yeah.
You want to calculate things and have your spreadsheets, but also you want to have that relaxed atmosphere where you're having a ton of fun and where you're getting immersed in a story. Now maybe Daniel comes up with great stories. Some people are not, don't have that.
Don't have the time.
Well, number one, to come up with a story. So these modules provide a story and they can portray a great story.
Right.
The old days, when these modules come out, it wasn't about making your own story, even though people would make their own stories. It was, wow, where are we going next?
Yeah.
Because it
I
was
actually
all
think
through.
I personally would like to DM with a module, because I've tried doing my own stories and I just get so frustrated because I spend too much time with all these fantastical creative ideas, and then I don't know how to implement them in a fun way for my players. So I think doing a module might help me a lot, because then I'm not so wrapped up in all of this original storytelling, which I'm not very good at anyway, but can more interact with my players and like spend more energy on that.
Exactly.
Anyway,
And a book
someday.
like this would probably be really, really good for you, to be honest with you. It has that
I'll
old
look into
feel.
it.
It tells this story, and it may help you on your way to be more creative in a way.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here, since we're going through questions. Old GM guides used to encourage, and TSR actively encouraged people to make their own worlds, which was great.
Yeah.
Wizards of the Coast, I figured that one out.
Yeah, you got it. I was like, well, I don't know.
Yeah. And I go, I know that.
Like, oh yeah, I know it.
Yeah. I love when I said it. You went, yeah, Wizards of Wizards of the Coast with the 5th edition, especially want them focus only on their modules and less homebrew.
Yeah.
Because look what they do. Okay.
Yeah.
They put out figures, they put out maps, they put out modules. It's, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, because actually, tactical play with minis, TOTM play. They are they are all good. Okay, yeah, I got.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I love tactical play with minis. I mean, listen, I'm a mini guy. That's what I do. 33% of my channel is me painting minis.
Yeah.
The other 33%.
The mini guy.
Yeah, I'm the mini guy.
In his sleep.
33%. Another 33% is playing some kind of dungeon crawl or a role playing game. So they both intertwine.
Yeah.
So how I wish I had this when it first started. All the stuff that's available, like the WizLock stuff. Oh my God, I would kill for that stuff. We were drawing on graph paper and things like that, which was fun. And I love that old school feel. And I've done a lot of things here recently that there are print and play games that go back to that age, where you're using, D100 we've talked about. 4 Against Darkness, that have that old, hey, just get a pencil, some dice, and a piece of paper, let's go. Which you and I are going to do live on here at some point.
I would hope so. I'm glad that you said that, because I was hoping you would show me how to play that.
Well, actually, the first one that we would do is 4 Against Darkness, because I'll let you take 2 characters and I'll take 2 characters. And
no, that would be really fun. I really want to try it.
And I really think for that, we may have to go like 2 weeks in a row.
That sounds good.
Yeah. And then go back to our regular scheduled show, just so we can get a module in.
Yeah, and get a nice
so you get a nice story and a nice feel in, and just play on our RPG world, because after all, it is RPG world. Let's see what else we got here real quick, because we've got a lot of things to cover, and we're burning time pretty quickly like we normally do. Event-based games can give an RPG light experience. Yeah, a lot of board games give you that RPG light, and people are starting to confuse them with full-on RPGs. So people that haven't played RPGs are playing these board games thinking, oh, well, this is how role-playing must be. No, there's more to it.
There is more to it, yeah. I wonder, is there a term for the type of player that is more tactical with all the spreadsheets and like how can I get the most optimum character or get him to do the most best situation in this adventure, as opposed to like the adventurer. Like, is there something I should know about that, like those type of players?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. It's a funny thing because I think it kind of ruins it in a way. When you sit there as a group and you're going, well, I know that we'll probably have to take, a certain athletic test or swimming test. So I'm going to build up my character to be better at that. And you're going to build up your character to heal and make sure and have no other ability. So basically you are just,
you're all one team or like,
yeah, you blend together instead of trying to grow your character to how you are or how you want to portray yourself. Well, I'm this sneaky, low down little thief, and I'm not worried about strength. I'm more worried about being the quietest guy and robbing and playing the character instead of playing the group. And TM Alcove, TOMT.
Oh, Theater of the Mind.
We're so bad at acronyms.
Nice.
That's what's the deal with nerfing the monster AC in 5e? That would get very boring for me. Nerfing the monsters. What's the deal with nerfing the monsters?
Nerfing the monsters? I'm not familiar with that expression.
Oh God.
Should I Google it?
Yeah, my son says it all the time. It's pretty much jacking them up.
Okay. Yeah.
It's getting them all jacked up. Hold on. Did I skip way ahead? Oh yeah, I did. I'm sorry. Yeah. I wonder again. I wonder if that, Raven, is again that nerfing them and making their armor class so much higher. I think that's so you build a group and do it in a miniature way.
Yeah.
In a way, instead of one swing you taking out maybe 2 or 3 goblins, now it becomes where it almost becomes a tactical warfare that gets added into the newest edition. Let's see. I tend to prefer the setting modules that Wizard of the West Coast puts out, like Ravnica, Theros, but the problem, not many miniatures for those. Well, that's where WizKids is coming in and putting in a whole bunch of different things and stuff like that. WizLock's so cool. Graph paper still used by many as old school DMs. Yeah, again,
there's nothing wrong with it.
There's no wrong answer either way here, because we've talked about 2 different things, in the prior show, is that we've talked about where you have this beautiful setup and this, you can really build theme and immersion with somebody by putting this beautiful dungeon out, and people go, oh man, I can't wait to go through this. This is going to be exciting. Where, sometimes if you have a tremendous storyteller, it depends on what your DM's strength is.
I agree. Yeah.
If his strength is, if he can weave a beautiful tale and immerse you through his storytelling, you don't need all the bits and pieces.
Yeah. Now, I would say, like, when we were first playing, I think it depends on your players. For me, when we're having a situation, when we're in a combat situation, I need a visual in front of me to be able to play properly. But the rest of the time, you can kind of just imagine what's going on. You don't need a forest every time you're walking through a forest. You don't need like a banquet hall to be able to envision a conversation happening with someone. So I think that kind of depends on your players too. Like, if they are fine with envisioning a combat and they don't have trouble with, what is it? Like, perceiving the distance between things in their head, then that's fine if it doesn't slow them down. But for us, we did realize as a group, it went much smoother when we drew it out, even the simplest drawings, so that we had the same spot to work with. And you don't need the fancy things. The fancy, like the fancy 3D buildings, like that's all icing on the cake, I feel.
But it's also, it helps with a guy that may not be confident enough to tell a story. Okay.
I can see that. Yeah.
That you could say, okay, where I lack in being able to build up a story for you, here, visualize this.
You're in this room. Yeah.
Yeah. You're in this room. Well, here's this room. Take a look around. Tell me what you see, and then I'll help you through it, because I can't tell you that. And
that's interesting to like have the players like, what are you visualizing in this space? Yeah.
So there's it's a very balanced thing, and I think it works so many ways. David here sums it up, Raven, and he did it better than we could. The design of 5e is predicated around giving monsters lower AC but more hit points, because people because missing is not fun, and that they want this tactical thing. Okay, we're in this way, hit him, boom, he's hit. Now get out of the way.
That's a really good point. That's excellent.
Let's keep moving. That's a great post there, David. Thank you. Knowing they can hit the monster that's much easier is like putting the monster in a cage and having the PCs poke spears at it. Not fun.
Yeah.
And Raven, that is dead on.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
There I go. When we're playing and we're like, we were in a session for a while where we were being invaded by an ancient army. And it seemed like every other session there was one big baddie. And we would always be like, well, I rolled a 16 and we still didn't hit him. Like, how high is his AC in that guessing game, just to see like, okay, well, I rolled, 19 and that did it. So it's somewhere in between. That's kind of fun too, to figure out like, where is this person's strength? And I don't know. I was just thinking of that when she was talking about the AC.
Depends on the player. Some players find miniatures a distraction. Others get more immersed. And that's what we're talking about, balance. And that's why we kind of cover both here. We want to entertain with the theater of the mind, but we also, miniatures, there's a good balance. You just have to find that balance. I think if you go too far with one, it takes away from the experience. Let's see what else we got here. Both. Sometimes it's great to play yourself as a hero, and sometimes it's great to pretend you're something totally different. That's right, Godzilla lover. I agree, a guideline and platform to host a game, but going with your intuition and keeping game balance in mind can often lead to amazing worlds to play in.
That's true.
All right. There's really no wrong way to play an RPG. Exactly. It's just as the editions have grown. It's also, I think it speaks volumes to how people have changed playing games. Or done role playing.
Yeah.
You've got your old school people, and then you've got the new people, which is always good because the more the better. Needing to have minis during combat is in some ways an issue with the rules that specify distance, 30-foot ranges for this or that. Several games have switched to zones rather than exact distances. Good point. Yeah, that's a great point, Monkey Work. Let's keep on going down here. Lots of smiles.
There's so many good comments, guys.
I know you guys are killing it. That's cool, Godzilla lover. Depending on the game, I use paper minis. I can't afford to have a collection. Listen, that game I just showed you is all paper minis. And sometimes I like paper minis more than I like miniatures, because then I don't have to paint them.
They're all done.
Yeah,
ready to go.
It's kind of like a balloon animal. Llama, you're done. You don't have to do anything else with it.
Sometimes we use chess pieces just when, we haven't gotten that far into the game.
Oh, he feels bad because he missed our sub. Oh, not a big deal. Don't worry about it. I would think playing a character more like yourself would be easier, while playing someone totally unlike yourself would present much more of a challenge.
Yeah.
It depends on what you want to do, what you feel.
Yeah. It's hard not to revert to what you would do.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to be a real actor and truly be in a role. But I think that's the challenge. I try to do that. I try to not be Jona and not do
Exactly
what I would normally do.
All right. Use the Skittles or M&Ms for monster tokens, and then the player who kills it gets to eat it.
Yes, that's a great rule. I'd be so disappointed if I missed, though.
Rob, I'm reading the rules for Iron Sworn solo RPG. Seems really interesting. A matter of fact, next episode, segment or episode that we do, or whatever we want to call this, we're going to be covering Iron Sword pretty heavily. I actually have a copy coming your way.
Oh, awesome!
Yes, I am.
That's amazing.
Speaking of which, that kind of segues into our next thing. You were sent a pretty big box, weren't you, this week?
I was. A really big brown package came.
Okay, why don't you bring it on over, and we're going to discuss some of the things that are in it.
You want me to just open it all up here, like you do a deboxing?
Well, you could do that if you want. It doesn't matter.
Is that what you meant?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
So every 2 weeks, she's going to get sent a box, and we're going to do certain things. Now, Jona did not have a paint set.
I didn't.
A legitimate one.
I was using acrylic paint.
She was using acrylic paint, so I sent her from our fantastic sponsor, Army Painter, Omega Paint Kit.
There's 50 paints. I don't even know where to start here. And there's washes too, which is really nice.
Yes. Now you can put that aside.
I was overwhelmed because, like I said, I've been using acrylic paints from like 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm. You can put the box on the floor.
I'll put them.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see.
That way, I mean, if you want to take a look at it.
Okay.
The box is bigger than Jen.
Yeah.
Oh, that it goes with that. You know that little box that you had there?
Whoa. Sorry.
You're all right. You're all right. You don't have to open that up.
Oh, okay.
You remember what that thing that you took out, that little casing thing?
Yeah.
And it had some paintbrushes in it?
Yeah.
That is a wet palette.
Oh, it didn't have brushes in, but it has like whole
sponge in it. That's a wet palette.
Oh, cool. Sweet.
So now you have a wet palette, so you can thin your paints out, and you can keep paints that you're using, and so forth and so on.
That's awesome.
Now, I also sent you. Oh wait, she's.
What do you want next?
You said you were sent two dragons. Two dragons. You were sent 2 dragons. Yes, as you can see, they're partially painted.
Yes. My boys have claimed them.
I know.
This one's Lawrence's, that one's Theodore's.
Now, they're not finished all the way.
No, I didn't think they were. I was like,
no.
I don't know, Rob. These look a little shoddy.
No, those were my demonstration things. And then
okay, that's what I figured. I was like,
your job by the time we come back is to finish
homework.
Yes.
I have to paint them?
You have to finish them.
Oh my gosh.
You could do it.
Where do I start?
Well, go.
Can I change the color? Can I like?
You could do anything you want with them. Anything you want with them.
Because one of these is going to be pink.
That's fine. A pink dragon is fine. So do whatever you want with them, and that's your homework. The next thing is you.
This little guy is awesome.
That's another guy I sent you.
Is this what creature is this? What monster?
It's an Umber Hulk.
Umber Hulk. And is this from WizKids?
Yes.
Okay. He's so cool. He's like a giant tick.
Yeah. So you got to finish him too at some point.
Okay. And then.
Okay. Now those we're going to need right now. Okay. So you're going to put those aside. Did you get the Elmer's glue that I said?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you have an old brush that you don't like anymore?
I can find an old brush. Like a little brush?
Yes.
Little brush.
Stay tuned while Jona finds a new brush. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, very cool. Now,
Now what?
also in that box is a tree, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you have your tree.
Ta-da.
And there were some CDs.
Bon Jovi and
Bon Jovi and who?
Train.
Yes, two of the worst groups of all time. So I decided to give you those particular things. Now, you said that you couldn't figure out how to make scenery for your D&D group.
No, we couldn't. We weren't sure how to do the trees.
Well,
we were going to use photosynthesis trees.
Well, it just happens that your old pal is going to show you something today on this part of our segment, which is our little hobby section. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to make a little bit of scenery.
I'm excited. All right.
Okay. I am going to switch over to this screen. Look, it's like we're professionals.
Oh my gosh, you're so good at this, Rob.
Now, I've got another CD. Oh, hold on. Well, we got to make the noise here. No, wrong. Oh, okay. No, that's good.
Are you adding that sound effect?
Yeah, yes, I am. So you could go down to the flea markets and you can get probably every Johnny Mathis and any CD for about a quarter at a flea market or anything, because CDs are pretty much dead. And let's be honest, nobody listens to Bon Jovi. I never did either. So
I listen to Bon Jovi. I think.
Well, then this segment's going to hurt you more than you think.
You're to blame. Don't get me started.
Okay. Now, these make great bases. You don't even think about it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I love it. I love that you're recycling, Rob. This is great.
It is recycling because they have all these things. Now, we're going to go into a whole thing that I'm going to show you how to make your own. You can go down to home.
Is that all?
Flocking.
Flocking. You have a giant Tupperware of flocking. Oh my gosh.
I made this.
How'd you make that?
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Oh,
okay. Go down to your local Lowe's or Home Depot, wherever they cut wood, and ask them, hey, can I have the sawdust?
That's so smart.
And they'll say, okay. And they'll give it to you for free. You can take all you want.
That's really smart.
Now, the neat thing about it is you get this, and then you can make it any kind of way that you want to make it. So you go get those old acrylic paints that you have, and you dump them into the sawdust. And then you just take your paintbrush and you just keep stirring and stirring and stirring and stirring. It'll dry. You break it up. You stir some more. Add some more paint.
No water or anything like that?
No water. It's all paint.
That's awesome.
Boom, you've got instant flocking. You can make green flocking. You can make pink flocking to go with your dragon. You can make brown flocking. You can make gray flocking, anything that you want to make. But today, you want to make a forest, okay? So I'm going to kind of show you just a real quick way on how to do that. So what we're going to do today is we are going to take our Elmer's glue, okay?
Okay.
All right. And we are going to we're going to open it up first. Okay, there we go. Come on. Oh, don't tell me this. Hold on. I've been using this so much, it gets a little.
It gets gunked up.
It gets gunked up. It gets gunked up. And then I have to fix it. Okay, there we go. There we go. And we are going to take a whole bunch of this. Do you see what I'm doing here?
Yep, you're drizzling it all over.
Bye-bye, Bon Jovi. I'll never have to listen to your awful tunes again. Now, the other thing that I forgot to tell you to do, but it's kind of cool to do, And you want to put this on pretty thick.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
All right. You see how I just
was-
going around and around. And I'm not worried about how thick it is or anything like that. I'm just really getting that on there.
Okay.
All right. And then with your old brush, once you get it on there pretty good, okay, you're going to want to kind of paint it in there.
I was hoping you were going to say that.
Yep. Okay. And we're just going to take and we're going to really, but we want it nice and thick in there. All right. Right here is Living with a Prayer. And then I'm going to cover up She's a Little Runaway.
These weren't your wine CDs, were they?
Oh, you bet they were. That's Little Engines right there. No. Oh, how good it felt to send those out. Oh, but again, all you're doing, what did he just say? I don't know. I was just looking up at the things.
The comments, yeah.
Yeah, the comments. So now we're just taking and we are just really just kind of working this in here really, really well.
Okay.
All right. And as you can see, and then once I got all that area all covered. Now for you, because you have those little things,
yeah,
the little containers, if you take off the top of the palette, the wet palette, okay, you could just pour it on there. But I'm going to show you how I do it now.
Okay, I'm with you.
Okay, that way you don't get stuff all over the place.
Everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Okay.
The idea is to keep it all contained.
Yeah, and that's why your Tupperware containers, genius. So you're putting it on really thick to get like a different. Are you trying to get different heights to the glue, or you just want it to really stick and completely cover it?
I wanted to completely cover it because nothing worse than going through a forest and then I'm wanted dead or alive.
It must all go away.
Yeah. Now, once we've done that, okay, now watch what I do. I'm just going to put this bad boy in here. And then I'm just going to go. Woo. Okay, and I'm just going to pile. I'm going to pile it on there. Nice. And then I'm just going to pat it down real good. Okay. And then I'm going to put my brush down and I'm just going to keep covering it until I can't see it anymore. You're going to
Christmas cookies.
Pretty much. You're going to kind of just do.
Yeah, I'm just like shaking it on.
Undaunted Pledge just subbed on Twitch. Thank you, my brother, for 4 months. Thank you. And because you subbed, guess what? That means $1 goes into my daughter's college fund, which means, yes, you got it. You get the special Godzilla anytime anybody donates anything to the channel. Oh, turn around.
Wow.
There he is. He's greedy because he likes Emery Grace. All right, there we go. Thank you very much, Undaunted. You the man.
I've got a fuzzy CD.
I already know what discs to use for this. No lie. I'm not a hoarder. I had about 50-something AOL CDs. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can use your old Windows
That's perfect.
Or anything like that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap this all off. Okay. Now, do you see what we have here? Look. So now, once I have that, okay, let's take this. Oh, hold on. Got a little extra glue there. There we go. I could just put that in there. So now I have this. Move this out of the way so we can see it. So now you're going to kind of want to let that dry. The next thing that you would like to do is you can add like little rocks. Maybe you could break up some branches that you have outside.
Yeah.
And just add little things here.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you're going to do, and I grabbed this tree of all trees that's already based, but you could just take your little tree and put it there, and now you have trees. And you can put little stumps around and things like that, and you make a whole bunch of these, and then they become
perfect little stands.
Perfect little stands that you can store, and when you need trees, there you go. Just like
I love it. Here, I'm gonna try and hold it.
Okay, she's gonna try to hold. Hold on. Let me get you full screen here.
Okay.
I mean that deserves full screen. That's
my tree's so crooked.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's okay. Yeah,
you can fix it. They're bendy.
Look, you did it.
Yeah, but that was awesome.
You see, and you were complaining the other day. How do I make trees?
I was complaining. Yeah. Well, now I know how to make little green turkeys.
Now you could do anything you want with this. Okay. With the CDs, if you get a bunch of them, you could take like little stumps or make little,
yeah.
All kinds of different things. You could take some little dead branches and trim them down and have a dead forest. Your imagination, you can do anything you want with these particular trees. And it's just such a simple thing. It
is. I love it. I like it. And they're like so compact. You can have a bunch of them with your D&D stuff and just pull them out when you need them.
Yeah, you're going through a forest. You can arrange them different ways. I
like it. I like it a lot.
And that's
good idea.
Yeah, that is this week's hobby tip. Number 1. What just happened?
What?
I heard a bubbling. I mean, I think somebody just subbed.
Did something? Ooh.
Somebody just subbed on our YouTube channel. Well, thank you very much. Okay. So again, this is just, an easy way to do things, and each week or every other week that we do the show, we're going to show you a different hobby tip, how to make your own stuff. And boy, you're going to get another package, and guess what? In 2 weeks, because we do the show bi-weekly, you're going to get another package, and we're going to have another hobby tip the next time we come on.
I can't wait.
Neither can I.
You've raised the bar, Rob.
I've raised the bar. Next week is going to be really cool. Well, not next week. In 2 weeks from now, it's going to be very, very cool, and we're going to have to donate a little more time to it than we did this time, because I usually have everything planned in my head, and I'm pretty good with the time because we're almost all done here.
Right,
make sure that we didn't miss any comments or anything like that. AOL CDs will work perfectly, of course. I used to microwave them, improve. Yes, I was a tyrant back then. Oh, I'm
I used to make.
Okay.
Oh boy!
I already know what. Oh, there we go. Okay, AOL CDs that I used to get in the mail, and then he used to microwave them. Pete Shirley's in the house. How you doing, Pete? Shirey, excuse me. I always call him Shirley. Don't call me Shirley. We used to cut grooves in our AOL disc and throw them like ninja stars. Well, that's dangerous.
Ooh, that sounds extremely dangerous.
Yes,
but fun.
We showed you CD to build forests, not weapons. Oh, goodness. My boyfriend and his friends use different sizes vinyl records for the same thing as kids. Oh, vinyl.
Oh, cool. That would be.
Everybody's the ninja.
Nice.
At Halloween can grab a bunch of stumps and graves for cheap. You can also make little graveyards with that. That's a great point. I've done that before. Go out you're in Pennsylvania. That's a rocky state. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You got some great granite out there that you clean off and you glue them onto those CDs, and then you got like a little,
I'm gonna do that for one of the dragons.
There you go.
Put little pink rocks or pink eggs.
Yeah.
Like it's a mama dragon.
I put my trees on large washers. keeps them from tipping over in the game. Exactly. That's
a good
exactly
idea.
the point. So when you actually glue that tree to the CD.
So it has a nice base, and then
so it has a nice base built around it, and it has all the grass and everything else. So there you go. So you're off and running.
I like it.
All right.
Thanks for showing me how to do that, Rob. That's cool.
Well, not a problem. That's what we do here. Let's see. What else we got here? What were the first minis you painted? Oh, boy.
I can answer if you're thinking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Blood Rage minis.
No.
Before I even played the game.
You painted them?
Mm-hmm.
You painted Blood Rage before you even played the game?
Yep. My husband was like, will you help me paint these? And then he was like, you're a couple hours into it, he's like, I hope you really like this game, because we're like 6 hours into painting them.
Boy, I really have to go back. I would say the very first miniatures I painted were my Blood Bowl, my human Blood Bowl team back in 91, somewhere in there. It might be something earlier. No, it was one of the early editions of Warhammer Fantasy. Oh, no. I have to go back even farther than that.
Oh, wow.
Battletech, the old metal Ral Partha stuff. I forgot about that. Yeah, no, I would have to say it was Battletech. That was the very first things I painted. Oh, good question. Now, and as always, you are amazing for hosting quality streams like this for your community. They, too, are great people and positive vibes for everyone involved, making this an experience. We really try here. Well, thank you so much. And I couldn't do it without the great co-host, who, for those of you that may not know her, she is the One Pip Wonder, and that's PIP. Go check her out at her phenomenal channel. And if you don't subscribe to it, shame on you, because it is such a great channel. And Jona does the best videos out there. And she is what you do. You are fantastic, and and you're my little buddy. So that's how it works. Yeah. So we're very happy to be on Board Game Geek. We'll be on every 2 weeks. So every Tuesday, 7 o'clock, every 2 weeks. We may do a couple in a row because we've got some things in mind. We always have all kinds of ideas for this show. And for us, this is a lot of fun. It's all things RPG. We're going to be covering so many different things. And just don't think that we're going to be covering D&D. We're going to expand the realm of role-playing and really talk about all types of different role playing, as both of us discover new things and maybe teach each other some things along the way. So there you go.
There you go.
Well, Jona, another show, another hour in the books, and it goes by too quick.
It does. That was super fast.
I always feel that we have so much more to say. and then we have to stop it. But that's the way it is. Jona's channel is fantastic. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, David. That's so nice of you.
You could find Jona always on a Tuesday here. Either she's making a couple of videos or check out her own channel, like I said, with all her great videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe at Rob's Tabletop World on Twitch and on YouTube. And you better join One Pip Wonder. And if you are first time watching Board Game Geek TV, well, why aren't you subscribed? This is a great channel. We've got Rodney Smith, we got Chaz Marler, we got Aldi, we got Lincoln, we got Nikki, we got all the great people, Steph, the Murph brothers. I mean, I can go on. It's a who's who of board gaming around here. And we're on here now too.
Yeah, we're here too.
We're here too. All right, everybody. That's another RPG World in the books. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob and Jona. Say goodbye to everybody.
Bye, everyone. Have a great night and stay safe out there.
All right. Until next time, we'll see you soon, folks.